Hello, my name is Nina Young, and I'm the Director of Policy and Network at the Coalition for Green Capital. In this video, I will be discussing our call for applicant participants to our applications to the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. Who are we? The Coalition for Green Capital is doing business as the American Green Bank Consortium. We are a 501c3 chartered specifically to redress greenhouse gas emissions and other forms of air pollution, redress climate and energy-related environmental injustice. And since its founding 14 years ago, the Coalition for Green Capital has built a network of over 70 partners that include state and local green banks, public agencies, and community lenders that include community development financial institutions and other nonprofit lenders. We are a rapidly growing network that is driving public-private clean energy investments. In 2022, our network drove $5 billion in public-private clean energy investments that served 40% of the investments in low-income and disadvantaged communities. And we see the synergy between the communities, the low-income and disadvantaged communities that are illustrated in the CEQ map to the left, and the EPA regions that are in the map to the right. And so as we're thinking about building out this network, we truly want to make sure that we have a national range and partners across all 10 regions. And so we currently have partnerships or developing partners in those 12 regions and are exploring to fill some of the gaps that you see in the map, but we're quickly closing that gap and really excited to increase the number of partners that we have nationally. And so the Coalition for Green Capital's Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund key goals and tenets include the following. So we're applying to both the National Clean Investment Fund and the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator competitions. We are forming a national green bank to coordinate a big green tent. All eligible recipients are welcome to participate non-exclusively. The country needs unprecedented collaboration and a national pipeline development. We are seeking to maximize pipeline investments in all 10 regions, reduction of energy burdens, health impacts, and greenhouse gas emissions. And we want to have engagement working for and with communities, self-sufficiency of the network for continual reinvestment, and progress towards national climate goals. And so if you're listening to this video, it's more than likely that you're interested in figuring out where you come into all this process. And so with the National Clean Investment Fund, there will be indirect recipients of grant funds. And so recipient grant award funds go indirectly from the Coalition for Green Capital in the form of low-cost loans. The amount will be determined based on the pipeline following EPA's award selection. And we will prioritize projects in and for disadvantaged communities. And for the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator, subsequent grant competition pool will be administered. Sub-awards to be made through a competition process that will be held by the Coalition for Green Capital. The grant awards will be up to $10 million for capitalization and technical assistance, as it is described in the NOFO. And so, where do you come in, and what is the timeline for participation? Many of you know that the 90-day timeframe that EPA has allotted for these competitions are fully underway. And so we're in the process of receiving letters. There are various letters that EPA has outlined to indicate participation from organizations in the National Clean Investment Fund and the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator competitions. And so we are seeking the variety of letters from partners to sign on to our application. And so we need the draft letters by August 21st, and they are to be submitted to rfi@coalitionforgreencapital.com. We have produced a series of draft letters that can be used by an entity that's interested in participating. These letters are a template and can be adapted to the needs of your entity or organization that's interested in partnering with us. And so we need to complete, CGC has our own internal timeline for how we want to complete the 2 applications in a timely manner to ensure that we have a winning application. So this is a very aggressive timeline, but it is to ensure that we have enough time to review the letters, make sure all the edits are appropriate, to have conversations with interested partners, and we will be able to submit the application by October 12th, or applications by October 12th. And so I'm going to walk you through this series of letters. The next 2 slides will be me talking through the actual titles of the letters, and then following that, I will go into detail into each letter. There are many letters to be included, and please be patient with me as I walk through all of them. So if you are a community lender, and the definition of a community lender is in the NOFO, so please make sure that you're an eligible entity before submitting these letters to the Coalition for Green Capital. So if you're a community lender and you're interested in participating in the National Clean Investment Fund application with CGC, we would need a current transaction pipeline letter of commitment, if applicable, and I will talk about the requirements shortly, a pipeline template for the next 6 months, and transaction partnership letters of commitment. If you're interested in participating in the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator and you're a community lender, we are requiring a community lender letters of interest. And as many of the following letters for community members as possible: the community engagement and accountability letters of support, and the low income and disadvantaged engagement and accountability letters of support. All of the numbers indicated before the title of the letter is the reference number where you can find more information about the letter in the relevant NOFO, because there's separate NOFOs for the National Clean Investment Fund and the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we have templates for all of these letters, but you can adapt the letters as necessary. So if you are a community member and you're interested in participating with the Coalition for Green Capital and the National Clean Investment Fund, we are asking for a community engagement and accountability letter of support. And with the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator, a low-income disadvantaged community engagement and accountability letter of support. So many of these letters sound very similar, but we need multiple letters per competition. It may seem redundant, but this is the information that EPA is asking for. And we are very, very closely following the NOFO because we want to make sure that we have the sufficient and the accurate information that's being asked of us in order to ensure a winning application. Okay, so let's dig a little bit into each letter. And this has all been a mouthful, so forgive me for saying some of the titles wrong, but I will keep going through them. And so for the National Clean Investment Fund letters, if you are a community lender, we want a current transaction pipeline letter of commitment. And this is coming from potential counterparties. This is if you are already actively lending in the clean energy space. You know, every community lender, actually, let me get to the next bullet. Okay, so transaction partnership letters of commitment. This is for existing and or plan partnerships with the following type of intermediating institutions to deploy financial assistance to qualified projects. This is your community lenders and other similar institutions, nonprofit organizations, for-profit businesses, and private capital providers. CGC, even within our current network, has partners that are already actively lending within the clean energy and related eligible uses that EPA has outlined, and partners who are planning to lend for these qualified projects. We are also in this solicitation seeking partners who are actively lending and those who plan to lend. So I'll say that again. You can provide information if you are actively doing the clean energy and eligible uses type of lending and those who plan to lend. If you are currently lending, then we will take your transaction pipeline letters. But if you are not lending, you do not have to submit a pipeline letter. And so for the National Clean Investment Fund letters for community members, we want the community engagement and accountability letter of support from geographically diverse communities, including rural communities, tribal communities and their representatives from tribal governments, and low-income and disadvantaged communities, including those that are communities with environmental justice concern, energy communities, and persistent poverty counties. These letters help paint a picture for the types of folks that our partners are already working with and plan to work with. And again, please refer to the NOFO if you have other clarifying questions. All right, and so for the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator, if you are a community lender, we want a community lender letter of interest from community lenders that would plan to seek support from the program. So this is the letter that if you want to participate in the subsequent competition that CGC will be hosting after the EPA award. So Clean Communities Investment Accelerator funds will not be a direct grant. It will be another competition process in which you are eligible for up to the $10 million. For the Clean Communities Investment Accelerator community members, we want a low-income and disadvantaged community engagement and accountability letter of support. And that will be coming from low-income and disadvantaged communities that are also rural communities, tribal communities, and their representatives from tribal governments, communities, and environmental justice concerns, energy communities, and persistent poverty counties. So I just said a lot about letters and who is eligible, what they qualify for. I cannot understate. Please go back to the NOFO if you have questions and concerns. We are working on a very rapid timeline. If you are interested in joining our applications, and we are again accepting more partners. We want a big green tent. We've got a large country to support and serve. There's a lot of low-income and disadvantaged communities that need these resources, and we want to make sure that we are as engaged and building a network that is strong and supportive. And so provide us with letters to help us really build out this clean finance network. The draft of the letters are due August 21st at 5 p.m. and the final letters will be due at the end of August. Please email all of the information to rfi@coalitionforgreencapital.com and submit it as a Word document. And as I mentioned before, if you do not have a pipeline, if you are planning on doing the lending, you are not currently doing the lending, that is okay. We will include you in the network. We are building a robust set of resources to make sure that everyone is equipped to be successful. We look forward to your participation. Thank you for your patience as I've walked you through all of these letters. Again, this is in accordance to the information provided by EPA. We are following the NOFO so closely. We want to make sure it is a winning application. We want to build our network's proven track record. We seek to build on our network's proven track record to equitably drive clean energy adoption in all 3 priority product markets: distributed energy resources, all electrification, transportation, with an explicit focus on low-income and disadvantaged communities. Please join us in facilitating a just transition. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we really hope that you join the network, and thank you very much.